You're listening to the Sports Scramble podcast, where four friends serve up a weekly plate of sports with a side of SEC bias. Now, here are your hosts, Chet, Jacob, Wade, and Tyler.
Let's go!
Welcome in, everybody, to this week's episode of the Sports Scramble podcast, brought to you by Belly Up Sports. Tyler, it's been forever since I've seen you. It's not like we spent 4.5 hours together last night on our Super Bowl live watch party.
Yeah, that was quite a marathon. It was a snooze fest in the first half. I might have to got a pillow and a blanket. But in the fourth quarter and overtime, we got a heck of a game in the dynasty. Pretty much starting now with the Chiefs.
It delivered. I said during halftime I was going to get a cup of coffee, and then Usher, man, he just brought the energy back. He was feeling up on Alicia Keys. There's been a lot of speculation about that today. Yeah. I think the most Googled search was, is Alicia Keys married? Because, I mean, goodness gracious.
Yes, she is.
What's his name? He's a producer. Shoot. Starts with an S. Something Beats. Come on, guys.
I'm not.
You've lost me.
Okay. But yeah, that was quite the performance, and of course, ludicrous, all that stuff. Jacob, Wade, y'all, good to see y'all on the show. What'd you think of the Super Bowl last night?
I think it was uneventful for the first 3 quarters, and I think I caught the end of the fourth quarter.
I said Swiss.
Yeah, I didn't hear you. SWIZZ. American record producer, DJ, rapper, and hype man. He was I don't know how happy he was last night. He was like, yeah, Alicia, woo, get it, girl. And he's like, whoa.
Probably
Usher,
punching through the screen.
Apparently, Usher got married.
Let's get him on. We need to get him on the show, get his perspective on it.
He did. He posted something on Instagram saying, like, hey, it's all good. It was for the performance. There's no love lost. Man,
I don't know. It's like that in movies, too. Like, they have to kiss in like movies and stuff, and I don't know how I could take that.
Yeah, it's just like that's in front of the entire world, and like you could kind of tell she wasn't like down with it at first, and then she was like uncomfortable, like yeah, smiling. It was like, all right, Usher, you take it a little far. Do you think he was on something last night? A little bit of like
they all are
for sure.
What's the rhino? It's like a rhino pill or something. You know what I'm talking? You know what I'm trying to? What I'm
Ecstasy?
getting at? No. It's like an off-brand Viagra.
We've gone off the rails already.
Yeah,
I thought he was like pulling like Molly and Percocets.
No.
I am excited to see who New Orleans who performs.
Lil Wayne, baby.
I think
that's what I said. I said like a little combination, Lil Wayne, Little Boosie, get like.
Oh my gosh, you're not putting Lil Boosie up there. Lil Boosie.
That's just mine. This is my opinion of who I want to see. Who gives a crap? Like this is.
I think it'll be Lil Wayne. I think it'll be a Lil Wayne headline, right? And then maybe you see some like New Orleans native artists, like a little bit
Juvenile.
Of Juvenile. Did you say
I
you
can see
some
Juvenile
ass?
there.
Yeah,
Jazz.
Oh. Yeah, so we said before the show, now that football season's over, we're just going to kind of let it fly, and I think we're doing a good job of that so far. But Lil Wayne, Juvenile, maybe some Trombone Shorty in there.
Yeah.
Isn't Webby from New Orleans, or is he from Baton Rouge?
These guys are not big enough to be on the Super Bowl
I
stage.
think Boozy. I think you could put Boozy on there for one song.
Boozy said himself that he wants to be a part of it.
Flight risk.
Yeah, you never know what's going to pop out there. Speaking of flight risk, did you see when they panned to Lil Jon and everybody's it's kind of like a mosh pit? You saw that one guy go flying in there.
Yeah.
Need to know if he's okay or not. Is that
well, didn't Usher fall at one point when he was on the skates?
He kind of lost his balance there for a second, but he picked it back up.
I would have busted my butt.
Can I just say that the camera angles were absolutely horrid in the I don't know, some of the camera I was just like,
it was cool.
I don't know, some of them were just
I thought it looked like Lil Jon just had the camera holding it in his hand.
It was definitely the first, or maybe I haven't paid attention in previous years, but it seemed like it was definitely designed towards like the TV viewer rather than like what was going on at the stadium. you know, with like the POV camera right on Usher the whole time. Like, I wonder what it looked like in the stadium, because it just looked like it was one big television production rather than like a production for the people at this stadium. But
yeah, like I think
know.
last year with Rihanna, that was like concert, and that was
That
awesome.
was all out. That was all out.
And then the year before was with Dr. Dre and 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, and Eminem. Was he there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
think
that
so,
was like
yeah.
the different rooms, which I think it's kind of a mix, right? And had the good stage production, but also good for the camera. And you think back to like the weekend. If you're at the stadium, you just like didn't even see them,
Right.
like you just heard them. So I
It's like
think,
ants.
yeah, but it started off a little slow with Usher, I'm not gonna lie, and then it started to pick up, and then of course, Lil Jon and Ludacris. I think Ludacris stole the show. What was he wearing? I mean, it's like he was ready to suit up, play football.
He was
They
ready
had
to play
Jackson State
basketball in
University
2003, baby.
in there too.
What
I
you
know
said,
that
wore
they
his-
were there.
He should have worn Jake from State Farm outfit, since he's doing those commercials for
who?
State Farm. Ludacris.
Ludacris is in the State Farm commercials?
Yeah.
That's
Really?
fine.
It's been on air for
But yeah, it's been this week.
couple
Like I saw
months.
it today.
Oh,
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
it's funny. Yeah.
What band was there?
The
Tyler?
house
You said-
floods. The house floods, and he's like,
Yep.
the guy's like, "This is ludicrous," and then he just pops out.
He pops up.
I'll have to go back and watch that one. Tyler, what you said it was Jacksonville State?
No, Jackson State.
Jackson
Yeah.
State. Cool.
Sonic Boom.
Neat. That's cool.
Represent Mississippi a little bit.
Yep.
Really, the Super Bowl flipped with the halftime performance and come out of. We talked about it last night. I was like, look, the Chiefs. Travis Kelce's a second half player. Mahomes is about to pop off. Open and drive. It's an interception. I was like, oh Lord, here we go. We're just going to be sitting here. And Tyler, we said they were going to score a bunch of the fourth quarter. That's kind of what we were treated with. So, do you think I saw this? I think Colin Cowherd said it today. I don't know if it was him or not. I might be misquoting that. But Purdy didn't lose the game. The Chiefs won the game. I think Purdy almost did enough, but he still gave that opportunity to Patrick Mahomes at the end to take it away. I mean, what can he do?
I don't blame Brock Purdy at all. Like I fault the 49ers defense. I mean, you had them third and short stopped multiple times on that drive, and then you fell back in a zone and just let Patrick Mahomes throw crossing routes right down the middle of the field. I mean, just a little 5-10 yard crossing routes, and they ended up getting a total of about 20 yards on those catches. Then all they did was play man, and Patrick Mahomes just spread them out and took off running. I mean, that really was the biggest thing. But I think the biggest thing on defense for the 49ers was them losing Greenlaw. Like that was huge. Him up front there with what's his name? God, I can't remember. I just blanked out.
Bosa,
I can picture him.
Somebody on defense.
Well, yeah,
Warner.
Fred Warner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they really run the defense. I mean, that's them too. So it's unfortunate that happened. That's crazy. I've never seen as many Achilles injuries that we've
just
seen
running onto the
this
field.
year.
Like, which almost as freak incident as it was, I almost wonder if maybe there was an underlying injury that he potentially didn't know about. Maybe it's partially because I mean the way it's not like he jumped up and did a backflip. He literally was on a knee, jumped off, and ran onto the field for the change of possession, and it just pops. Like
just a freak thing.
Yeah.
Like the Aaron Rodgers injury was crazy, but he's got somebody tackling him and kind of plants, and it gets stuck.
I can see Aaron Rodgers because there was his body weight, the other guy's body weight.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's but it was just his own body weight, just kind of getting up and just kind of he just bounced up, and I was like, what? And it was when he took off.
Effect.
It was
Like
when he kind of took off too. Like when he first started running, that's when you saw it pop in his left Achilles. So I was like, what the? That was wild. But
I will say you got to give the Sod King some credit because the field was much better than last year's Super Bowl. There was no slippage really. They'd actually looked good. Remember, they hyped up how they were like growing the grass and everything for last year, and it looked terrible. So
I have a thought. You just mentioned that. Now, they had talked all week about how the Niners freaking facility at UNLV
they
was
hated it, yeah.
absolutely hot garbage.
Mhm.
And maybe something happened to Greenlaw in that situation. Like you said, underlying situation, maybe with the conditions there, something happened that he just didn't recognize or know about. And it was kind of the last straw thing was in the
Maybe.
game.
The
I
little
don't know.
tweaked it
I have
there.
another thing on fields. Guess where they put the freaking World Cup final? MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, they're going to put a
Like,
soccer
what?
field in.
What are we doing? That's like the worst stadium to put it in.
Well, they're going to put
stadium series for the
grass field.
NHLs is there this weekend. They're playing stadium series for the NHL.
grass in.
Yeah, they're putting grass in
on ice,
MetLife
that's a
for the
whole
World
different
Cup.
story.
What's
Well,
wilder is in Dallas for the semifinals, they're going to have to raise the playing surface 10 feet from the existing playing surface
Play
to
on the
accommodate
cloud.
the field length. So they're going to have to fill in dirt over like all the sidelines.
The suites
and
on the
take
bottom?
out-
Suites.
Yeah, and
Gonna be
take out
filled
the
with
suites.
dirt.
God.
Dude,
Yeah.
imagine the cleanup on that. What the
Yeah,
World Cup
and-
is what, in June?
Jerry Jones.
No, it's in
Yeah,
two
it's
years.
usually in the
But
summer.
I mean, it's in the summer, right?
2026.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the summer.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a full-time renovation. Like they're going to lose capacity in that stadium, and going forward, they'll be able to host these kind of events. But yeah,
That's crazy.
Is it the Winter Olympics here?
no, it's
I think-
No, it's the Summer Olympics in Paris. Is this summer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this year, Summer Olympics in
Mhm.
Paris, because they're having the juice event. Remember the no
World
steroids.
Cup always splits the two Olympics, or it
Right.
always winds
Right.
up at the Winter Olympics.
Right, that's
Yeah,
what I was
so-
saying. Yeah.
I'm more
World
excited
Cup
for the
is-
Olympics this year than anything, honestly.
The World Cup is in.
I get
2
up for
weeks.
that.
Is the flag football happening at this year's Olympics?
No, it's going to be whenever the U.S. hosts in
28.
2028.
Here we go.
So
We
U.S.
got
gets
Neil.
the World Cup and the Olympics back-to-back cycles.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty much like a 2-year span,
Neil will
which is
be
great.
at Jerry's World in May, so we'll get some insight into when they're going to start it.
Probably after the
Neil-
concert.
Neil-
Let's hope they
you
don't
need-
get rid of your
June.
seats.
This
Yeah.
is for Neil. Neil, you need to do a one-on-one interview with Jerry Jones and get his thoughts on the situation and how if he is going to assist in bailing out all of the dirt, or he's just going to stand there and watch all his peons do it.
Dude,
No, he's
just
going to
build
have
a
the
new
football
stadium.
team out there. He's going to have the football team. That's their off-season workouts. They got to get the
I'm gonna
shovel
say,
in.
Dak, you got to work for that. You got to work for a contract extension.
That
Yeah.
stadium's 15 years old. He's going to donate it to the local school district for high school football and build a new one in the next
probably
part of the
will
parking lot.
It'll fit
Bring back the
perfectly.
Astrodome.
Yeah. I mean, there's enough land out there. They'll just extend west a little bit, find something, call that one Jerry
Yeah,
Town.
they got the other side of the parking lot. They got the old baseball stadium there. They can do it.
Yeah, they'll figure
They
it
got a
out.
hell lot of good high school stadiums over there too.
I mean, Texas
the high
is
school
like
stadiums
top
are better
tier.
than the Jesus. It's
I
insane.
drove past a high school last time I was in Houston. Oh my gosh, I thought it was a college. I mean, it was like as big as the school. It wasn't even a stadium. It was the actual school building. Looked like the entrance to like one of LSU's, like the manship building. That's all big. Got the huge columns and everything, but it was like 3 times the size. It was insane, and it said Performing Arts
Like
Center.
Rome, pretty much.
I was
Was
like,
that,
where the hell's the rest of the school at? And this is the Performing Arts Center. This is insane.
Is that like Katy, Texas?
This was in Cyprus. This is
Oh yeah, Cypress got
Cyfair. I think.
pretty much mini universities.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, it's insane. That's
It's High School Musical in real life.
Oh, it's true. It's true. But anybody place any bets last night?
Heck,
Yeah, and
I
I
did
was
not.
looking real good at my exact score. And then Jake Moody had to shank a PAT.
Get it?
No, he got it blocked.
Well, he didn't
Okay,
get it
well.
high enough. I think that's on Moody.
Yeah, he kicked it into his guy's ass, really. So
What,
I
what are
was-
you talking about?
I was thinking I was
He
good at
blocked it.
24-20. It was too low. He needed to get it up.
What were the odds on your score, Wade?
16,000 to 1.
Pretty good.
What?
Pretty good.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
I did the 31-21 just for shits.
yeah. Well, I don't think anybody could predict a 25-22. That's a
Nope.
wonky
Is
score
that a
there.
scoregami? No.
No, it happened 12 times. I didn't get it.
Tyler's
My
right, it
friend
was
did have that square though in our.
Is 1916 a scoregami?
I think
Probably.
I've seen that before.
Because it was 1916 for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I said, could you imagine? I think it was for a scoregami, it was like plus 20,000. It was insane. It was wild.
Wasn't the over under set at 46?
47.5.
So it
and
went
then
one
right
half
before
under?
it dropped to 46.5, and that missed PAT is the
Reba hit the over too on her national anthem.
Yeah, she hit Home of the Brave twice, and it went over by a couple seconds.
Oh my god!
I think she knew.
Golly, Reba.
But the over under was set at 47.5, and right before kickoff, it shifted to 46.5, and it ended at 46 because they don't kick a extra point when they score to end the game. So talk about
that seems a little suspicious, but
yeah.
What about 25-23? Is that a scoregami? That one seems. If he would have made that PAT.
Well, if you made the PAT, we're not going to OT.
That's true. We're not going to overtime.
Let's talk overtime. Let's talk strategy. Let's talk.
Okay.
Did the 49ers have any clue about the rules? What y'all would have done?
So Justin Reid, the safety for the Chiefs, said that they have been drilled since the beginning of the preseason about overtime strategy. Overtime is different in the postseason or beginning of the postseason. They've been talking about this strategy, what they want to do. And so I find it hard to believe that the 49ers had no idea. I mean,
that's the difference between Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan right there.
Yeah, the referee said it, made it clear as day. It's on the video boards. So that's just surprising that team does not know that you each get the ball. And I also don't agree with if you win the coin toss, I'm not taking the ball. I'm kicking it and then seeing what I have to do. Because I feel like that's okay. You force the Chiefs to a field goal. You got to kick a field goal or you got to score a touchdown. They score a touchdown. You know you have to score a touchdown. On 4th and down, it was what, 4th and 2 on like the 25-yard line? You're going for that 10 times out of 10 if you're down a touchdown, obviously. So if I'm winning, I guess what I would have done, I'm kicking the ball to the Chiefs. I'm playing defense, and then that's how you game plan on what you have to do. I'm not taking the ball first.
Yeah. I just wish they would go to a standardized format for the regular season and the postseason, because I think part of what could have gone into the thought process of taking the ball is you're conditioned that when you go to an NFL overtime, you want the ball and you want your offense to go out there and score. So that's what you guys are comfortable doing. And who knows, maybe the team did know and they're just backing up Fred Warner, who might have just been so amped up that he just went with what he's accustomed to saying, however many years he's been in the NFL. It didn't matter. I mean, the 49ers didn't execute. They didn't go down the field and score a touchdown. The Chiefs did. I think that whether Mahomes went first or second, he was probably getting that touchdown, and San Fran would need to answer it. But it was a little mind-boggling. I don't like the idea of having a clock if you're going to give each team a full possession. I think that maybe part of the strategy should be that if you go down the field and run a 10-minute drive and you leave your opponent with 5 minutes to go score, so be it. I mean, I feel like there should be some situational value to that. I would have been curious to see what they would have done, had the Chiefs not scored with 1 second left. Like, would they have just given them as many untimed downs as they wanted, or would there be another 15-minute clock?
It's another 15-minute clock, so it starts
That's
over
crazy.
at 15 minutes again.
So the times doesn't really matter.
The time's irrelevant.
Yeah, because I mean, if say they kicked a field goal and then time runs out, it's just okay. We'll play a second quarter. Like, it's basically you're playing a whole.
But it's sudden death at that point,
right? That's why he said.
That's
why the official said he started a new game. Like, start a new game.
If each team scores, the next team to score wins.
So then that's why you might want the ball first as well as
That's true.
then San
It was
Fran
the
needed
right
a
play.
field
I
goal.
mean, it's Mahomes on the other side. He's going to
I
score a
think-
touchdown anyways.
Yeah. I think San Fran made the right call by taking the ball first.
I think you go for it on fourth.
I think so
But
too.
but the
Yeah.
only problem there is, I mean, I think there's two reasons they did it. Number one, I think they wanted to go down and score and just set the number. And then also you gotta remember their defense was on the field for quite a
That's a
while
good
at the
point.
end when Butker kicked out. I mean, they were on the field for almost 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
they were
They were tired.
exhausted. So
I mean, their offense
And-
went three
and
and
think
out
about it.
3 times to
Purdy
start the
and
second half.
Purdy and them had all the opportunity to score, and they had Chris Jones on the sideline on that third down play in
They kind of
overtime.
went away from giving it to CMC. That last drive that they kicked the field goal on, CMC was gashing them 4 yards, 6 yards. And then he got stopped at the line once, but then they just, all right, let's throw it incomplete. All right, we're kicking a field goal. It was like, I think I would have given, I mean, what's the difference between running it and throwing an incomplete pass? Right? I mean,
But
you're
I credit
burning clock.
the Chiefs though. I mean, they played man-to-man defense the entire way, like the whole time. And then San Fran just backed off when they played defense. And it's almost like they were thinking about the time. Maybe that's where they didn't understand the rule, and they were just thinking about the time. It's like, let's just hold them off to the point where we'll keep them in field goal range at that point, and then we'll just
That's
get
a
the ball
good
back.
point.
So, I mean, with that little time, maybe that's what they were thinking, and maybe that's why they're saying that. But there was a lot of pressure on Purdy, I think, there on that drive. I mean, he basically had to scramble out of almost every throw.
Mm-hmm.
And Mahomes just had all day back in the pocket. That's the difference. But I thought for sure when MVS made that catch and tried to, like, I don't know what he tried to do, but he ended up going backwards and they were in trouble. And I was like, this is it. I was like, there's no way.
I thought that was the moment for my bet where I said one of those guys is just going to completely screw it up.
Yeah, just drop the ball. I look back to, I think it was like the third quarter. It was a 3rd and short. Maybe it was the second quarter. I don't remember. But Kansas City had the ball. It was a 3rd and short, and it was just like a zero blitz. I'm talking the entire defense went after Mahomes, and he couldn't even get the ball off. It was an incomplete pass, and it was like, I understand you got to cover the guys, right? But I feel like he had all the time in the world to roll out on that last play. Kelce did his little thing with like the confusion there, have everybody focus on him, and then MVS is wide open. I mean, when they were blitzing him, that's where they were getting to him. And when they were giving him time, he was just sitting in the pocket, and then he would scramble around when somebody broke free, and he would just take off. I mean, he runs when he needs to, and I think that's kind of, if you bet him over 27.5 rushing yards, I mean, you won money there because he ended up with like 40-something. So, Tyler, what are you doing in that overtime situation? What's your play?
I think San Francisco really made the right call there. I didn't really think it mattered if they, deferred or received. I mean, like I mentioned, it's Mahomes on the other side, and if you give him a chance to win the game, he's going to score a touchdown there. I agree with y'all. They probably should have went for it on 4th and 2, maybe on 3rd down play, just hand it off to CMC because, like Chet mentioned, I mean, he was just cooking in overtime, and they couldn't stop it at all. Both defenses were getting gashed, and you score a field goal, that was pretty much it. I mean, once Mahomes stepped on the field in overtime, it was over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, just like his younger brother's friendship with Brittany. I'm sure y'all saw that video.
Hey,
I did.
And then
just, like,
Taylor
dancing,
Swift swerved them too.
Yeah, he went for the hug on Taylor Swift, and it was the awkward, like, side hug, and then she slinked out of it and was gone. And poor Mama Kelce, she had to stand next to the guy for the rest of the post-game show.
Taylor Swift played the role right, though. She let Mama Kelce get her, the first hug on Travis, and she gave him space. I was really impressed with, like, I don't know, her public appearance in this game. I thought Travis Kelce was a bit of a hothead for sure.
With the Andy Reid situation. I understand the emotions get wild, but I don't think you can body check your
I think you can yell at your coach all you want, but hitting him.
Yeah.
Somebody commented, I can't remember who it is. Somebody like sent a tweet out about it, and it's a guy playing in the NFL, and I can't remember who
Oh,
it
it
is.
was AJ Brown. He said if I'd have done
AJ
that,
Brown,
I'd be out of the league.
yeah, he would have kicked out of the league for doing
Oh
that.
yeah, he would for sure.
That's crazy.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, all you people that hate if she's being shown, you can chill the hell out. I saw the total was 56 total seconds out of the 4.5-hour game that she was shown, and ding ding 13 times. Tyler and I were counting it last night, and it ends on 13 with the game-winning touchdown.
Good thing we didn't go to double overtime.
Yeah, I know.
That's a little bit crazy. If I thought it was going to be a Kelce touchdown on the 13th appearance of her being
Yeah, I would
shown.
just ended
swear.
it. I would have ended the live
If
stream
he,
if that
oh
would
my
have
god,
ended on that.
But I think the NFL played it right. They didn't really cut to her every time.
The NFL didn't play it right. Did you see who the head referee was?
Okay, well, I'm saying with the Taylor Swift situation, and for the most part,
Tyler's a lot of animosity towards the
Yeah, he hates that
officiating
guy.
crew.
Frick him forever for what he did.
I'm surprised he's able to ref the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like what the hell is this? Like if you screw up, you get to referee the biggest game in the NFL. You kidding me? If I screw up, I'm fired.
Yeah,
Business, it's business, Tyler.
Speaking of
Whatever.
a business, did y'all see the guys in the suits and the briefcases on the sideline that would come onto the field?
What?
It
Was
was
it
like
deal or no
security
deal?
guards.
I didn't, but I saw the refs. Like they had like 20 refs on the sideline and all black.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Like when there was a little bit of a
They're like the
scuffle,
consulting
they
refs?
came out of nowhere and like broke up the scuffle, and then they were gone. And they were like holding players back from getting onto the field. Like
There's security
didn't
from
want-
the Vegas
You
clubs.
said they had briefcases.
Some of them had like cases. I don't know what was
What
in
if
those
just like
cases.
they just go out there and there's stun guns in there?
Deal or no deal on the field.
Speaking of stun guns, this is it kind of plays into hidden gems. All right, we'll take a short pause for hidden gems real quick because that was the perfect segue. The streaker, okay. Everybody, well, you didn't see it on TV, but I'm sure you saw it on Twitter. Both of them. My hidden gem for the week is he posted a TikTok this morning after he got out of jail. Don't know if it's true or not, okay, but he said that he saw the odds of there being a streaker were like plus 20,000 to 1 or 2,000 to 1. So he bet $10,000 that there would be a streaker. Go and went to the game intending to streak if no one had done it. And by that time, no one had done it. And he said, "Screw it, I got to do it." And he jumped on the field and he took off running and he got paid out 20 grand this morning. So he bailed himself out of jail. He won 20 grand, and there you go.
You win 20 grand, then you automatically have to use it on your bail.
I'm sure
I feel like they're
going to
avoid that.
If you already got paid out, I mean,
That's no different than the Travis Kelce situation where if he bet
Yeah,
on
but
if he was
that
going to
was only-
propose.
that was like some third world sports book, like Bovada or something, not a like Vegas casino. Same with this. I don't think you could bet on this on like DraftKings.
Yeah.
I think the streaker was like a online
Prop bet.
prop bet, illegal to play. He probably had to place it in cryptocurrency, But that's my hidden gem. I don't know if y'all got one, but I just wanted to throw that in there since we're talking about stun guns.
I
What a
had
segue.
one, but it's so hidden that I forgot it.
Oh, there you go. Tyler, you got one?
Oh, I know what it is, but Tyler, go first.
I'll go first on the virtual side. Now that the football season's over, this is the only game that I'll be thinking of since it hits our shelves. We got a little bit of news. We're not going to get any trailer yet anytime soon, but we are going to be getting some small updates on February 15th for every school who will be participating in the game will start sharing social graphics, pretty much confirming that they're going to be in the game. So honestly, this is all I care about. Don't talk to me until this game comes out.
All right. Well, Tyler, I'm going to go ahead and remove you from the show. You don't want to talk to us anymore until the game comes out. No, I'm joking.
This is all
Let's
I
go.
want in my life right now, honestly.
The 15th, right? February 15th?
February
So
15th. So that's this
that's
Thursday.
Thursday. We'll get some.
Yep.
No, that's Friday. No, Thursday. You're right.
Thursday.
We'll
Valentine's
get
is
some-
Wednesday,
get some
so
graphics.
it's got to be
Yeah.
Thursday.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Jacob, you got a hidden gem for us? Anything
I
at
do.
the Home Depot?
No, not the Home Depot. It's actually in
Not
the
the busted pipes anymore.
No busted pipes anymore. Had to get rid of all those mowers. But no, a guy in New Orleans decided he was going to steal 7 king cakes from a bakery in New Orleans, and in the middle of the night, he was just that he was just that hungry, so he stole 7 king cakes and
Granddad's?
I no, I don't think
I
so.
wouldn't doubt it.
And so the guy, the business put a thing out that said, the company said, they're like, our king cakes are really good, but like come back during the daytime, like just some like tongue in cheek thing. So the guy who stole them responds to it and says,
no.
"Hey, it was me, and I'm holding all 7 of these babies hostage until you give me a lifetime supply of king cakes."
What? That's
Like,
such a bad.
7 king cakes. Do you think they really care?
So the authorities came and found him. based on like, what the.
I'm gonna hide this $200 worth of king cakes in exchange for $100,000 worth of king cakes.
What a guy! Like, oh my god,
that's hidden, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, and he stole a case of vodka and some cash. So yeah, there you go.
No,
I think the vodka might have played into that.
Even better.
Like,
so.
Yeah, if he robbed the cash register. Wait, do you remember yours, or is it still hidden?
No, I got it now.
Okay.
So this past week, the Cincinnati Reds, now that we're transitioning to baseball, they signed a 19-year-old prospect from Mexico, and his name is Ichiro Cano Hernandez, which happens to be 3 of the greatest Seattle Mariners of all time. And somehow the Mariners fumbled the bag and didn't sign this kid for the publicity. I mean, he's named after 3 guys that are in your franchise's Hall of Fame, and they let him go to the Cincinnati Reds. But also, why is a guy from Mexico named Ichiro?
I think his parents were big Ichiro fans. If you're asking
they liked the Mariners in like 2008.
Yeah, that's a hit. That's a hidden gem. I didn't see that one.
I don't think anybody's caring about MLB, so that's definitely hidden right now.
That's
the king cake one was off the radar, but I mean that's
I think that's all variety right there.
When he makes his debut, that's going to be pretty good. You're going to have Ichiro Hernandez.
People are like,
what? He said his middle name was Cano.
Cano, yeah. So Cano and Hernandez, like those could be odes to baseball, or those just could be his surnames. But the Ichiro is for sure.
That's a pretty common name down in
Cano
South
has
America.
to be a thing.
Yeah, or Ichiro is definitely. Hey,
the parents did say that Ichiro was after Ichiro Suzuki in the early 2000s. I mean, the kid's 19, so that takes you back to 2005-ish.
There you go.
So
they should have named him Barry Bonds then back in 2005.
Yeah.
Like
Barry Bonds Hernandez.
Barry Bonds advanced games.
Yeah. Or a little McGuire.
So when Ken Griffey Jr., Ichiro, whatever comes out, Mariners don't mess up.
Fernandez, Tatis, Ichiro, Giancarlo Stanton, Judge. When do we get one of those?
It kind of reminded me of like when you're in a sports game and they generate the names only off the names in the database, like in the game. It kind of looked like one of those names you could get. So it was just interesting.
Oh, so we were talking about bets until I kind of got sidetracked with the stun guns, and then we went into hidden gems. I think I sent it to you all. The guy known as Book It with Trent on Twitter, TikTok, all the socials, placed a $1 million parlay. $67,000 stake. He had the over on the Mahomes rushing yards, which hit. He had the over on the Kelce receiving yards, which hit. I saw this one, and this is why I put it into my parlay. The under on the Brandon Ayuk yards, which hit as well. But he had the CMC to score more than 1.5 touchdowns. And when he didn't get in, he got down on that 3rd-yard line. That was the only one that didn't hit. And he loses out on $1 million. One leg, half of a touchdown is what he was missing. That one's rough. That one's ouch.
Welcome to my world in betting.
Yeah. I mean, 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl stuff.
But it's CMC. If anybody's going to do it, it's got to be him. Or it's Jawan Jennings. That's the other guy that can definitely do
That's
it.
What's crazy is if the 49ers won, I mean, they probably would just cop out and give the award to CMC or Purdy, but honestly, Juwan Jennings probably deserved it.
That's
And
we
probably
for.
Vegas, nobody bet on him, to win it.
Yeah,
I mean,
they were probably
did.
sweating it out. If somebody bet on him,
no one betted him to throw the first touchdown either.
Technically, he wouldn't be the first touchdown scorer because he threw the ball.
Yep,
so that wouldn't count towards
that's what screwed me a couple
Tyler
of
knows
years
that
ago
one
with
too.
Joe Mixon. Don't bring it up.
That's a dumb rule. I understand because how do you say if it's a non-position player, it should count. If it's not quarterback. Yeah. I wonder if there was a bet for like first touchdown to be a trick play. That one's
just so subjective. How do you score it?
That's true. Favorite Super Bowl commercial? Anybody got some?
I skipped through them because, like a lot of Louisianans, I was watching the game on tape delay because if you're rushing back from Mardi Gras, you might have been a little bit late like myself. So I actually have to look those up tonight. We're going to watch like the top 20 of the Super Bowl and see what.
So you probably had no idea when I said that super long promo code from DoorDash.
Yeah, you and Cameron sent me like spam and I was like, what in the world is this?
So DoorDash did a giveaway. It ended last night. They said we're announcing the promo code at the 2-minute mark in the fourth quarter, and they gave away something from every single commercial. It was up to like $400,000 worth of stuff to one person.
Oh,
wow. But the commercial, it said like DoorDash giveaway 2024, and that's what everybody thought it was. And then all of a sudden, it went into one of those things like when you're watching a TV commercial for like a prescription pill, where they're like, this could cause vomiting, diarrhea, bleeding out of the eyes, and death. Like super fast.
And they're singing like a happy song in the background.
Yeah,
like
it was like that. But they named what I sent y'all is what the guy said. It was sped up like 10 times speed. So people were just like, weren't even watching Super Bowl anymore. We were all doing a live show, and I'm trying to figure out what the promo code is.
So you have to get it exactly correct.
Yeah, I'm over here playing by playing, and this man spent like 30 minutes.
Wait, I think he said Donuts 2024. I'm not sure. Hold on, let me rewatch it again. But Cameron got it and sent it to me. So if you got it right, you got entered into the giveaway. And I don't know when they're announcing.
That's clever.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some good ones.
Paramount Plus, that was a good one, Tyler. That was the Doritos one. Yeah, it ends with Creed.
Dunkin' Donuts had a good one.
Yes.
Hey, Creed's on tour this summer. Don't put it past
Doritos also had. They don't. Avocados from Mexico didn't have one. I was very depressed.
They spent all their money in the AFC Championship round.
Yeah, I guess.
Homes.com had like 4 or 5 of them.
No, Temu had like 3. Temu, like what the heck?
Yeah, that was.
Oh, actually, I learned it's Temu.
Whatever it is, they have a crap ton of money, and it looks like to put in 3 commercials during the.
Didn't they buy Sheen?
No, it's separate. Kanye had one apparently, but it was not shown everywhere. It was only shown when in the fourth quarter when they did that local commercials. Like I had some like local Texas stuff, and his is literally him with his iPhone. He goes, "Hey, I spent all my money to get my ad spot, so I didn't make a commercial. Go to Yeezy.com and buy my shoes. Thanks."
And it sold out too, like so it worked.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean it worked, but that was all the commercial was.
One company that got free advertising was Ozempic because everybody thought that the guy in the Super Bowl halftime show was CeeLo Green, but he had lost a lot of weight. And they were calling him Ozempic CeeLo, and it wasn't him.
I didn't know who that was. Who was that?
I don't know who it was still, but it wasn't CeeLo Green, allegedly.
No, it was not. My God. I saw the name earlier, but I don't remember what it was. Jack, you have a favorite one?
I didn't get to see any. I really
Home Depot. That's right.
Yeah.
How come Home Depot didn't have one?
We're college football. We're not. The Lowe's is NFL.
They got to keep that college game day sponsorship.
That's why Home Depot keeps some prices down, bro. They can't pay for none of this. I appreciate that. I'm gonna be at Home Depot this week.
They got to pay for Nick.
Yeah, nothing like seeing like your insurance company drop like $2 billion on,
and then your rates go up.
Yeah,
yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was in some State Farm one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was lame. Like
we got the Twister sequel. It's called Twisters. Usually it's like 2 or 3, but it's Twisters.
A lot of people were freaking out about the Wicked movie.
I know.
The Broadway musical that's now going to be a movie. It's got Ariana
Grande
Grande in it.
Starring that one.
Tyler will be there.
Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, commercials I think have reached. You watch it for the commercials, but it's still back and when we were in college, I think that's when they were kind of at their peak, and now it's like, yeah,
that was so long ago.
Yeah. But they had some good ones. So way too early, and then we'll wrap it up on NFL talk. Way too early Super Bowl prediction for next year.
What? Why are we doing this? I just put the favorites. So you're not doing this.
Okay, favorites.
49ers,
Chiefs, and Ravens are the favorites.
What we need to do is next week's show. I'm gonna go back to our preseason predictions, and we're gonna go back to see how we did.
We'll have a year end season end recap. All right,
so we'll see how smart we are.
So close.
We'll recap it for next week's show, and we'll see where we were on that. In other news, let's kick it over to golf real quick. Jacob, you watched start to finish of the here we go. We got a comment. Mr. Eagles fan. Eagles will win 2024. Not a shocker there considering his name. But we'll see if they can figure it out on the field. Phoenix Open, Jacob. Watched it all.
Yeah.
I tuned in for a good bit of it. The rain delays really hurt alcohol sales, I guess you could say, since they had to stop selling it and limit the amount of people that could come in. I think it got a little out of hand when the golfers were getting upset.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Hear me out.
Like, if you're Zach Johnson and you're freaking 4 under par and the leader is Charlie Hoffman at 21 under, buddy, go sit down. Like that.
Yeah,
they're still playing for prize money.
They are still playing for prize money. A lot of
that's
money.
But that's the environment they create there. It's like
Charlie Hoffman won. Well, no, Nick Taylor won, but he only won 1.5 million. I mean, that really wasn't.
It's pretty much like as closest event that you're going to get on the PGA Tour. That's similar to live crowds.
Well, hold on, Tyler. There was way more people at this event than there has been at a live. But I think I get what you're saying.
You're saying
live events. I don't even want to talk about live, but I was just giving some
I wanted to make sure we had that clear because I think that they said on Saturday they had reached 500,000 people.
500,000.
500,000. They had to stop the Scottsdale police, the Phoenix police, shut it down. They didn't. People were showing up with tickets and they wouldn't let them in. Because
Jordan Spieth was trying to go through one of the entrances and they wouldn't let him go through, I guess, one of the player entrances, and they had to reopen a different way to get him in there because of the amount of people that were there. They couldn't get vehicles through. It was that packed. I was like, oh.
But when you have that many people that are that drunk, they're obviously not going to respect the rules of golf as to when you're supposed to be quiet. But I still think you can't. I mean, we're amateurs. If somebody yells at me in the middle of my backswing, it's going to throw me off a little bit, right? That kind of breaks your concentration there.
But
I mean, I had a train lay on the horn in the middle of my backswing, and I ended up hitting the train because it just threw me off for a second. But when you're a professional, and what the guy yelled at Zach Johnson was, Urban Meyer can coach a better team than you could coach the Ryder Cup. I think that one hit hard. I think that one struck a nerve. And he didn't like that too much. Yeah. So that's when he went over and let him have it. And then he goes, don't call me sir. Don't sir me. You could shut the hell up. And he walked away. I thought that was pretty funny. But what you think of the Phoenix Open, Jacob?
I enjoyed it. I think it was actually really good considering all of the weather and everything that had happened.
Right.
It was just, I mean, guys were out there from 7 to 6:30. I mean,
5:30 in the morning. They were lining
that's
up.
grueling. I mean, golly. Some good battles. I mean, I think there were some people that really turned it on the fourth day. Like that was the big thing was the transition from day 3 to day 4 or round 3 to round 4, I should say, considering they played both in the last day.
Right.
Like poor Shahid Theegala, he's got to have something turn his way eventually. The poor guy led the first 2 rounds for the most part. Nick Taylor still looks really good. He's incredible right now. I mean, greens, he was making everything. His wedge game is phenomenal.
I think we saw Scotty finally make some putts, and he's got it rolling now. That's going to be scary because that was the big thing with Scotty was he couldn't make the putts. I mean, he's the best tee to green, and then he wasn't making the putts. So he made a charge on Sunday. I thought he was going to win it. I thought he was going to take away with it, and I think he ended up making that bogey on the back nine, and it just kind of unraveled from there.
I think Scotty's my favorite for next week for this week. Sorry for the Genesis.
I'm going Tiger Woods. Hot take. I think he's back.
Are you going for him?
Look, dude, I actually, you know who I think's got a really good shot, and he hasn't won anything yet. Really, is Cameron Young. Like I was high on him last year, but he was in the top 10 a whole weekend. So I mean, finished inside the top 10 and played really good golf. So Charlie Hoffman, I was
shocked. I didn't even know. I only know Charlie Hoffman through like some of the podcasts, and I mean I haven't seen him at the top of the leaderboard in forever. This is an elevated event, right? Shifting gears to the Genesis this week.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I believe is Ludwig in it. Do you know?
I think so.
That would be a sneaky because the dude hits it a mile, and
I just think his short game is iffy. Like in my opinion, I feel like that's what's holding him back is his putting, and I think over time that's just it'll get better. I mean, virtually, I still consider him a rookie at this point, considering he really didn't play an entire season last year.
Yeah, came in.
So this is really his rookie season. So I think he's going to be very successful like in the future. I just don't think it's right now. But there's a lot of young guys that are playing really good golf right now, and people that don't even have their tour card that were playing in the WM that really turned it on. And I was like, oh my gosh! I was like, who are these people? So I don't know. It was good. I was pleased with how the event went for the most part, and I think they made the most of the time.
This is kind of the beginning for my golf watching season with the Phoenix Open, and football's now over. You got something to watch on the weekend. We've got the Genesis. Of course, the Masters are in the beginning of April. And once that happens, you got the Players in 2 weeks. Is the Players the week after the Genesis? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, so this is an elevated event, obviously hosted by Mr. Eldrick Tiger Woods. Who's unveiling his Sunday Red collection tonight. It's a new clothing brand with TaylorMade. It's no cut because it's an elevated event. So I was going to ask, what do you think Tiger will make the cut? That's a yes. So there you go. Where do we think he finishes? I've got him. It's 80 players, I think. 80, right? 70 maybe.
Oh God, I don't know.
It's between 70 and 80. I've got him in the top 30. I don't think he wins. This is a hard walk, but I think he finishes in the top 30. He played really good there on Saturday last year. So, Tyler, prediction. The big cat.
41.
41. Okay. On the number, 41.
Yep. Yeah, I'm placing my number.
Second to last out of people that make the cut.
Well, everybody makes the cut.
No.
So, second to last.
No, I was thinking. No. Like, I was thinking he was like, if there was like 80 and top 40 made the cut. So probably.
No, so with the elevated events, there's no cut.
All right, 38.
38. Okay. I've got. What did I say? Top 30? Top 40? I'm gonna go.
You
top
gotta
30.
give a number.
I'm gonna go. Okay. 23.
Okay.
23rd. What do you think, Jacob?
I'm gonna go 37. 37.
Wow, Price is Right rules over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just boxed me out. Now I can't win unless I get spot on.
So Tyler was 41. Wade, you were.
I set the bar.
38. Jacob's 37.
Fuck it, 72.
All right. Is this official? Changing to 72.
72.
All right, keep that here. I'm texting it to y'all right now so we remember. We've got Wade.
I remember that.
72.
Tiger's gonna forget to pack his knee brace, and he's gonna do bad.
Yeah. Jacob with 38, 37. What would you say?
37.
He said 37.
And myself with 23. So we'll see. We'll see how that fares. But I will be watching. I love this portion of the golf season because Thursday, Friday is on ESPN Plus, and they do the featured groups, so you can watch the big names every shot. You don't have to watch the terrible broadcast where they show like no shots at all. And hey, Liv
Plus just carry all the 4 rounds.
I know. I would rather that too. But Liv, you didn't want to talk about him, Tyler, but Liv is partnering with Google.
Ears. I'll just mute then.
They're partnering with Google to where they're going to show every single shot from every golfer you can watch at any time. I don't know how they're doing it. There's going to be 48 cameras out there apparently. But you can watch every shot that's shown, which I think is pretty cool. The PGA Tour should do that. You can see more golf. Who's even? We'll give I didn't get y'all ready for this on who would pick a winner for the Genesis. So maybe we start that next week with Stallgrass.
Please do.
No. We gotta do
okay, fine. We'll just throw out an oddball there. We're gonna look like idiots.
I'm pulling up PGA Tour app. Maybe not. I'm going Scotty. It's an easy pick, but I'm picking Scotty.
Lame. Just
I
go with the
picked
favorite
Scotty.
pretty much. Just,
it's hard to win a golf
Rory.
tournament.
Hey.
I'm going Scotty.
I'm going to Heath Theegala. I think that he finally gets it done. He's been playing well lately. Give me Theegala.
Okay. Like it. Wait, do you even know who's playing?
Just go with what's the guy that you always pick?
Yeah.
Not
Sung Jae-im.
Sung Jae-im.
Yeah.
Let me see if he's in the field.
Sure, why not?
I think
He is in the field. Sung Jae-im. Okay.
He's gonna make that, and he's gonna be better than 72. I like playing golf for sure. I just haven't been watching it as much lately.
Well, like I said, it's starting to get into now that football's over. Golf is kind of going to be more on the TV. As they get into
baseball
the
season coming up, it's good.
And on here too.
College baseball starts this Friday.
Yes, college baseball starts this Friday. Jacob, your pick, and then we'll throw it to college baseball.
My pick. I'm gonna go Sam Burns. I'll give you a little.
Okay.
LSU guy.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. I'm pulling up. All right. Before we go college baseball, we gotta get
what's the odds on all those?
Oh, by the way, Chet, the schedule is different from what you talked about. So
okay,
it's a little different. So Genesis this week. Next week is in Mexico. And then they're going to be in Palm Beach, Florida. And then Puerto Rico. I don't know how many guys are going to play in these events.
Oh, like way off.
A lot of these guys aren't going to play in these events, but the next signature event is March. Second week of March is the Arnold Palmer Invitational in Orlando. The Players is the week after. That's March 14th through 17th.
Oh, well, my bad. Sorry about that.
Yeah. I like that stretch because you start with the Arnold Palmer right there in March, and then it's Players, Valspar, then Houston Open, then Valero, Texas, then Masters.
I'll probably go to the Houston Open this year.
March is a great month for sports.
I love the
LSU baseball in March. Got LSU baseball March in Houston. March Madness.
I'm going all out.
Jacob and I are back on the betting world.
I'm putting up kitchen sink on college basketball.
Hold on.
We got to be looking at our 15 seeds, everybody.
Let's have a come to Jesus moment here on the betting for the show for March Madness. Let's stay away from the parlays. Let's just pick winners or spreads. What
I don't think Jacob will ever get away from like a 10
No, I'll listen. We're good.
Let's try to have some success this year and just pick individual bets spreads, just one team at a time. Let's see what
you just want me to
happens.
throw a fitty burger on it? Just
Okay, I got it. All right, our upset lock of the day is going to be McNeese State. Whoever they play in the first round, they're going to upset them.
You realize they're plus 300,000 to win the championship?
What's the odds to make it to the Sweet 16? I can believe.
I don't think they have that.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Not yet.
Not yet. It's like whenever the bracket's set up and all that. That's
that might be
you got to do some film study, man. We got to.
That might.
I'm watching the games right now. I think Kansas is going to get beat.
Let's talk college baseball. Starts Friday, as Wade mentioned. Looking at the games here, where did it go? ESPN. Of course, it's opening weekend. You're not going to get any big name games, but our boys down in LSU take on VMI, which is
we learned this last week. Virginia Military Institute.
There you go. Friday at 2:00. If you haven't seen it yet, head on over to our YouTube channel. Tyler and I released a pretty comprehensive baseball preview. We broke down each position group, who were projecting to be the starters, went through the bullpen and the starting the pitching staff, and then kind of gave our projections for the season in terms of records and whatnot. Spoiler alert: we both have them going back to Omaha.
Sure you do.
Which I think is bound to happen. Yeah, I don't have much in terms of games, but rankings, we got Wake Forest at number 1, Florida at 2, depending on what you look at. Arkansas is 3, LSU is 4. Where is number 5? Who is number 5? Vanderbilt 6. A&M's 8. 5 is TCU. 9 is Tennessee. Where's 7? Maybe they don't play this weekend.
Oregon State 7.
Oregon State. So that was the roundabout way of giving you the top 10. But obviously we're all going to be watching, or 3 of us will be watching LSU. Jacob, what are you watching college baseball-wise this week?
I'm going to be watching Penn State play Monmouth.
Monmouth, I believe is how you pronounce that. Monmouth.
Not Monmouth. It's not Monmouth. Please, God.
Where's Monmouth located?
Monmouth
New Jersey.
is in New Jersey.
Good to know.
Yep.
Good to know.
No,
yeah.
I honestly think, like, in all seriousness, what? Oh,
He said, "Don't
no
get
way.
out the reps."
No,
it will be interesting
We'll
to see if Ole Miss and Mississippi State can bounce back from the past couple of years. It's been kind of down.
I always look for a sleeper team on the college baseball futures because I find that these sports books don't really follow it. And I bet on Ole Miss 2 years ago to win it, and they did. And last year, Florida's odds were pretty low, and they almost won it. This year's sleeper team, it's a homer pick. South Carolina, you can get them right now at 3,000 to 1 odds. And I think that they'll at least be a top 25 team. So that seems a little disrespectful.
he's
Got a
saying
veteran
that.
bunch, potentially an MVP favorite in Frey. So I like what I'm seeing out of South Carolina as a dark horse in the SEC.
Here's your
He's saying that they are number 25, like in the rankings. They round out
That's
the
a
top
sleeper.
25.
There you go, a top 25.
There you go.
But there's more than 25 teams ahead of them in the odds.
Wow.
No, there's not. I'm looking at them right now. There is 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, I got on it early.
12. Yeah, South Carolina is at plus 3,000. Leading the charge is Wake Forest at plus 700, LSU at plus 750. Alabama plus 3,500. That's kind of surprising considering their coach tends to
No,
throw
they
the
should
game.
be way further down.
Yeah,
I just
And
don't
they're
see
19 right now.
I don't see Florida being, let's say a month down the line. I don't see them being inside the top 5. I don't know. That's just me. I think that they had their run. I just don't see it sustaining for another season. I don't know. I think
Vanderbilt's the team to look out for.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's plus 1,600. It's hard to college baseball to place a bet early because you got to kind of get a feel for how the season's going. And
That's harder than college basketball. Like that's even worse than college basketball.
But if you just sprinkle, a few $5 bets here and there. I mean, the odds are really high.
Yeah, so that's the thing. You just hope you get lucky. I mean, that's what betting is about. And speaking of getting lucky, go ahead, Jacob. I had a great transition there.
Oh, go for it. Go for
no,
it.
No, it's a completely different topic.
Go. I'll mute myself.
No, Jacob. That's jeez. It was a completely.
I will
different
say though,
topic.
like the games to watch on Friday, like you mentioned, they have number 9 Tennessee and Texas Tech in the Shriners College Showdown, so that's going to be a good game. And then you also have Oregon and Oklahoma. So I think that opening series is a series to watch.
Tennessee and Texas Tech. Does Texas do they play in the Minute Maid thing that LSU's playing?
Yes. Well, that's a different tournament.
Right. But they're there.
Actually, is that the one Texas in Arlington? Because I know that they do the one in.
So they do the one.
Actually, I think they're two different ones. I think that one's in Dallas.
The Round Rock. That one's over.
No, there's another one played at the.
No, they play in Globe Life.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So the one in Houston is LSU, Texas State, and
Lafayette.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, well, I just decided for college baseball to start. Football ends, and we perfectly go into baseball season. And how to watch it? If you don't have ESPN Plus, you're kind of screwed because that's pretty much how you're going to watch every game.
If you like watching baseball at night and you're an LSU fan, you're screwed because Jay Johnson has conveniently moved all games to 2:00 when the, working class is working away. And I don't know. I guess when you win, you can do what you want. But I feel like the cold weather of Louisiana is a little overstated in his situation here.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you win a national championship, you can do what you want. I mean, I'm sure the fans are still going to show out. It's Friday, Wade. Just get out of that office a little earlier.
But it's Wednesday next week they play at 2:00. Like that's
okay. That's crap. Weird. Yeah, but that's a Wednesday night game. Who wants to go see that?
Because I want to go after work.
Well, you can catch the 7th inning stretch at 5.
What? The game's going to be over.
3 hours. Yeah, you'll catch the last inning. They'll probably let you in for free.
Here's the funniest. The funniest thing to me is the MLB Desert Invitational. Like the teams that are playing in this literally don't hold a stick to anything going on throughout the Boston College and Ohio State are playing. Then we've got it gets better. We're going next is BYU and USC.
I'm looking for some
Kansas
live
State
odds for you. USC is plus 10,000 to win the national championship.
Yeah. Kansas State and California. And then
Boston
to round
College
out the night is Georgetown and Grand Canyon. Like, my God, it is terrible.
Grand Canyon's not that bad of a ball club.
Well, they're probably the best team in there besides Kansas State.
Plus 50,000.
BYU, that's going to be interesting for them because they're now in the loaded Big 12.
I have not found Ohio State yet.
And BYU won't play baseball on Sundays, so they have to redo their entire schedule.
Oh,
is that a real thing?
Yeah, for real.
That's
a lot of Thursday and Saturday series for them then.
Mississippi State's plus 15,000 for a national championship.
I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
I mean, what if a couple bucks on that? Why not? Plus 15,000.
How do we feel about McNeese knocking off number 8 A&M first game of the year?
I love it.
I love them on the hardwood, not on the diamond.
People like A&M to win the SEC.
McNeese is what in the what conference are they in?
Southland.
That's what I thought.
I was gonna say the garbage can.
Team futures.
They're way down there.
Hey,
don't disrespect the Southland. That's a good conference.
What are you talking about?
It is a good conference.
I didn't know the Southland existed until I came to LSU. So
they got some
I
great
didn't know the Southland existed until I missed clicking the SEC on the freaking list of conferences.
All right. Let's get dog of the week going. Here we go. Everyone's favorite segment. I saw Matt Jones in the comments earlier. I don't know if he's still hanging around, but if he is, get ready, Matty Ice. Dog of the week. Tyler, take it away.
I'm going to keep it on my women's college basketball trends here. We had a huge upset with Nebraska taking down number 2 Iowa and stopping Caitlin Clark. And Jazz Shelley, the point guard for Nebraska, got 23 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists. And on the game-winning 3, she did this. So screw you, Caitlin Clark.
Did Caitlin Clark break the record or no?
No, 8 points. Nebraska, this is a team dog. They held her scoreless in the 4th, which nobody can do. So kudos to Nebraska, and they're looking like a real threat in the tournament.
Their volleyball team played in the football stadium, didn't they, at the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. That was the biggest crowd they had in their
more offense,
including football.
The volleyball team provided more offense than their football team this year.
Shout out Nebraska. That's impressive. Wade, what you got?
All right. I feel like it's just wrong if nobody gives it to Patrick Mahomes for his career greatness, winning the Super Bowl, but I'll give it to Harrison Butker. I feel like he had ice in his veins all night and got the record for longest kick. And I think if it came down to a game-tying field goal, he would have gotten it. And if it came down to a game-winning field goal, he would have gotten it. But I'm sure he's glad he didn't have to step on the field there at the end.
Yep.
But yeah, Harrison Butker dialed in, might be taking over Justin Tucker as best kicker in the league.
Hey, number 1 kicker off the boards in the fantasy drafts this year.
Holds the record for longest field goal at 57 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I think Harrison Butker, he's the guy, looked dialed in all night.
So I'm going to go because I'm worried Jacob is going to steal mine. Juwan Johnson, I think is the obvious pick, even though they didn't win. But for him to come out of nowhere, throw that touchdown to start with.
Juwan Jennings, you fool.
Juwan
Johnson on the
Juwan
Saints.
Johnson's on the Saints.
He wishes he was in the Super Bowl.
Juwan Jennings, my apologies, Mr. Jennings.
Wow, disrespect the Tennessee man.
Yeah, well, that's why
disrespect the Penn State.
He was like, yeah, Chet brought up this guy sounds familiar, and I said, yeah, he's the guy that did that Hail Mary against Georgia that one year.
And
and Juwan Johnson went to Penn State for 3 years.
And then he went to Oregon first, and then Penn State.
Yeah.
Juwan Jennings with the 2 touchdowns scored last night. Honestly, Debo kind of was limping around, and he picked up the pace right where he left off, and just balled out. Even though they didn't get that Super Bowl win, it was a pretty impressive performance from him. So that's my pick for Dog of the Week. Jacob, what you got?
Back to the old diamond, to the major leagues. Shohei Ohtani, first hacks as a Dodger, had 21 pitches in BP and cranked 10 of them out for homers, even with his UCL tear. So that's pretty impressive. So if the guy wins another MVP and he has a torn UCL while doing it, that's going to be crazy.
Is there a topic in baseball for who the GOAT is? I mean, obviously, football is Tom Brady.
I feel like it's understood to be Babe Ruth.
Yeah, but
new era.
Yeah, that's
new era.
I mean, it's Barry Bonds, but nobody wants to admit it.
Nah, I can't say Barry Bonds. I think Hank Aaron is still considered new era.
Can you say Bryce Harper?
Nah,
that was a joke.
What about Jeter?
Jeter?
Didn't do enough with that, in my opinion.
What about Acuna?
I think it's Ken Griffey Jr. is probably.
It's Vladimir Guerrero. He's on the cover of MLB The Show. It's got to be him.
He had a horrible year last year. I think it's definitely Ohtani and current times. I think in the previous generation, there's a few candidates like Griffey.
Well, I think you skip a generation. There's a generation gap between Griffey and current. So, in the 2000 era up till let's say 2013, there's a big gap there. We don't even talk pitchers. What pitchers?
I mean, Clayton Kershaw's been the most dominant one in the last 15 years.
If you get rid of the playoffs, but I mean, he has the David Price curse now, so I don't know.
You go to the playoffs.
David Price, there's an answer, man. He was dominant.
There's a guy. That guy was dominant. But my God, Mariano Rivera's got to be up there.
There's a lot. That's why it's so hard to name
different positions, different attributes.
Yeah, like you look
Well,
at
I mean,
basketball, it's the Jordan
yeah.
or LeBron, right? I mean, that's easy to pick one. Maybe you could possibly throw Kobe in there. NFL, Tom Brady. People are making an argument for Patrick Mahomes.
I just
Golf,
don't think
Tiger
Patrick
Woods.
Mahomes is there yet. Like,
He's getting there.
let's just put it like to the
Oh,
side. for
obviously,
now.
he's still.
I just don't think he's there.
Brady's played for how many seasons?
Too
Mahomes
many.
23. 23
Yeah,
seasons.
so for him to already be in that conversation by some people, and he's only in his 6th, 7th season.
Well, Brady did the same thing. He got off to a hot start and then
projection.
Yeah. It was like a decade since they won like a couple of more.
Yeah, so
like it was like a split one, and then they won in like 2014 against the Seahawks in that crazy Malcolm Butler interception.
And then they went on another run.
Yeah,
I saw some guy say today, like they were predicting, like the next matchup for the next Super Bowl, and one of the guys said, Seahawks and Chiefs, and I thought to myself, I'm like, who are the Seahawks? I mean, listen, Geno Smith or
Pete Carroll
Drew
is
Lock.
the head coach.
Yeah,
might go get Kirk Cousins.
I had to laugh, and then somebody said Eagles and Niners, and I'm like, wait a minute.
It's hard to pick the teams in this logo conspiracy. It's like very bright colors.
Yeah.
New Orleans, the Saints are gonna make it. Everybody loves Derek Carr.
Believe it or not,
they have like the fifth worst best odds to win the Super Bowl.
No, they were in the middle of the pack of teams. Like they're like dead.
Because nobody knows what the NFC South is gonna do.
Yeah. Well, they're plus 8,000 to win the Super Bowl. That's pretty much. I just looked at it.
But the Patriots and the freaking Panthers were.
Well, the Patriots are about to draft Jaden Daniels, and if they do, I will gladly become a part of the Patriots squad.
Real quick,
I would like to see Tyler wearing a freaking Patriot shirt.
I would get a Jaden Daniels jersey right now if he.
I want to touch on the draft to wrap up the show, but we got to get Matty Ice. He put the comment in for Dog of the Week. Matty Ice, who got that dog in him? You want to know who got that dog in him? Steph Curry on the whip around 3 Saturday night to give Golden State the lead. 0.7 seconds left. I like that. That's a good one. It's kind of expected. But
Mike Breen.
Yeah.
God. That guy goes down in history.
Bye.
But talk about the draft. So there's been rumors of Chicago potentially trading the number 1 pick. Other people are saying they're trading Justin Fields. I think it's starting to lean a little more towards trading Justin Fields. And with that being said, the whole thing with Caleb Williams not wanting to play in Chicago, who are they taking? Jaden Daniels' stock is starting to move up. I don't know if he's
you're not want him in Chicago.
But the thing is, if Caleb Williams doesn't want to go play in Chicago, as he's made it pretty much well known, if you're Chicago, are you still drafting him, or are you going to take a chance on somebody else for the number 1 pick?
Caleb Williams is saying that because he likes Justin Fields and he doesn't want to come for his job. But if Chicago makes that decision by the time they go interview Caleb Williams in Indianapolis and they walk out that meeting and say, hey, we're going to make you the number 1 pick, that's a lifetime of opportunity that you just can't pass up. And at that point, it's nothing you did or said. That's an organization choosing to move on from Fields. And Fields will have mutual respect for Williams, I feel like. But if he's going to really hold out and not want to play for Chicago, kind of like Eli Manning did, it's just going to continue to get messier in Chicago. And if you're exploring the idea, that just shows that you don't really believe in Fields as your guy.
That's true.
You just got to cut the cord at this point, I think.
What are y'all doing? Are you cutting them, or are you sticking with them?
He's a cheap backup, by the way. You could keep them both.
I'd stick with him as your starter, and I think here's why. I think he's your quarterback going forward. What Chicago needs is receivers. I mean, let's be real. They have nobody. I mean, you couldn't name 3 receivers on their starting core to save your life. I mean, that's part of the issue. And
I know who it is, but I can't remember his name.
Darnell Mooney.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. I don't know if
Darnell Mooney's going away,
but he's one. And you probably got some no-namer.
Tyler Scott.
That guy.
The problem is they need a receiver. I honestly, as much as I hate to say it, Marvin Harrison Jr. might be the first overall pick.
I don't. So if I'm Chicago, I'm sticking with Justin Fields for one more year, and I'm trading that number 1 pick to like a.
Well, they do have the luxury of 2 top 10 picks.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't think
Harrison quarterback. If they go Williams, they could just get either like Neighbors or Dunze at 8 or 9.
It's such a deep wide receiver draft. I mean, taking Harrison number 1 overall, to me, would be doing a disservice. I would trade back and acquire another first-round pick.
I think you could get Harrison at 3 or 4.
But if you don't, you could still get a Dunze or
Harrison
Neighbors.
will likely go to the Cardinals if he goes there to 3 because they need some help.
If I'm Chicago, I'm trying to make a trade with Arizona.
Wherever they are. Whatever the hell the
I
draft
would try.
is.
I mean, I think if you're Chicago, I think you try to trade. You keep the number 1 pick. This is the only scenario that you would ever trade Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields potentially would go for this. You trade him to the Patriots.
No.
You trade him to New England. They have now 3 top 10. Chicago has 3 top 10 picks in the first round. And I mean, that's
pick though.
Huh?
It's like even worth a first rounder.
No, I don't think you get a first rounder with them. I think the only way they're getting another top 10.
I mean, if you need a wide receiver, then why don't you just trade him for a wide receiver?
I think if you could get the Patriots to give up the 3rd pick plus whatever else to move back to 3, then maybe you consider keeping Fields and taking Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
I think you've got a good chance to. So Washington is 2, right? And Patriots
yeah, they're going
3.
quarterback.
Both of them are going quarterback. I think Arizona's. I don't know, but maybe you could trade with Arizona you trade your number 1 pick with Arizona potentially, and if you're sitting at 4, you still feel comfortable that Marvin Harrison is sitting there at number 4, and like you mentioned, Dunze and Malik Neighbors also shortly after him, and then you take all that draft capital and you build around Justin Fields because Justin Fields is a good quarterback when he's in the right system. He doesn't have the playmakers around him, so you get enough draft capital to build around young stars, young wide receivers, maybe beef up that O-line. Get a running back for a change.
Well, they
just have him. Yeah,
but a supporting core doesn't do anything if you don't believe at the quarterback in the core.
Right. So I think you can show belief by trading away that number 1 pick and building around him. Say, Justin, you got 2 years, and then it's done. Because that end of 2 years is when he's going to be looking for a contract extension.
Yep.
And then by then you have some really good young talent to give to the next guy. I mean, I'm here for it. I just feel like if they do their due diligence and they think that Williams is a generational talent, they'll put all feelings for Fields aside, and I think they have to go get him.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting a first-round pick for him, but maybe a second or a third.
I think speaking of Justin Fields, stay on the Ohio State train as much as I want to get off at the nearest exit.
Bill O'Brien did.
Yeah, he did. Probably a wise choice. He was catching a lot of slack. But I think my team to watch for the draft is going to be the Houston Texans. I really am curious how they approach the draft because for the first time in franchise history, they actually have an offensive player to build their system around. And I feel like this is when they go and they can get a lot of offensive weapons. Like their defense is good. Like offensively, I think they could be even better. And
imagine if they get Brock Bowers in that offense.
They've saved a lot of draft capital over the years. I mean, they have just stacked up draft picks. So they have a lot available to them to go out and do, and they ain't trading anybody. I don't think they're going to trade anybody. They're just going to go out and get absolute dogs for rookies.
Because who's their tight end right now?
Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz.
Yeah. Bowers.
I don't think he slips that
Chiefs are trading it all to trade up and get Bowers.
Oh my gosh.
Kelce 2.0. Of course, we'll continue to talk draft, combine, all that stuff as it happens in the offseason. Anything else, gentlemen, before we send this one into the stratosphere? All right.
Nope.
Well, we appreciate everybody watching, everybody that tuned in last night to the Super Show, to the watch party. That was a lot of fun, even though we almost didn't make it through it, but we powered through till overtime. You can find us everywhere you get your pods. Sports Scramble podcast on every platform. YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Road to 1,000. We're almost there. And I think that's pretty much it. We hope you all have a wonderful week, and we'll catch you next time.